Started. Jesus, are we on?
Yes, sir.
All right. Yes, we have the recording on as well. Okay, so notice hereby given Willacy County Commissioners Court would hold a regular meeting at the County Judge's Office, Commissioners Courtroom at 576 West Main Street, Renville, Texas 78580 on Thursday, February 13th, 2025 at 10 a.m. for the purpose of discussing the following items. During the course of the meeting, any discussion of any item on the agenda to be on executive or closed session, Willacy County Commissioners Court will convene in such executive or closed session in accordance with section 551.01 of the Texas Government Code. To any final action, final decision, or final vote be required in the opinion of Willacy County Commissioners Court with regards to any matter considering such closed or executive meeting or session, then the final decision or final vote should be either in the open meeting covered by the notice upon the reconvening of the public meeting or at a subsequent meeting of the Willacy County Commissioners Court upon notice thereof as the county shall determine. So with that, I'm going to call this meeting to order. Madam Chief Deputy Clerk, could you establish a quorum, please?
Yes, sir. Commissioner Precinct 1,
Present.
Commissioner Precinct 2, absent. Commissioner Precinct 3,
Present.
Commissioner Precinct 4, absent. I'm the county judge.
Present.
You do have a quorum.
Thank you.
Go.
And just for the record, Commissioner Tijerina and Commissioner Garcia are across the street on certification for, what's it called, the
Vector.
vector. Please stand for the invocation and pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing. Dear God, we give thanks to you, our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for another beautiful day with our loved ones. As we conduct our day-to-day, you are forever in our hearts and thoughts. We ask for your love, guidance, and protection in everything we do today. Amen.
Amen. You may be seated. Any public comments?
This is somebody that signed up. Nobody said?
No? Alright. We go to approval of claims. And Commissioner, I have a note here to verbally approve a payment for Hilario Rincones. This is for a piece of property that we had approved. You have before you, or have here, and Ms. Hinojosa has also looked into the transfer of title, warranty deed.
Yes, sir. We prepared that already. I believe Mr. Rincones had already come in and signed that. The precinct has already taken care of that. So now it's just the processing of payment. It was already approved, Judge, and so it's just a matter of approving the claim to process, to I guess proceed with cutting the check and making that payment.
We're just working on some of the details for the payment, sir.
Okay.
So as soon as we resolve those, then if the court approves, we can include it.
Okay, well, I wanted to make sure and include it because obviously I don't want to lose out on this opportunity.
No, this should be hopefully taken care of by the person who's getting the check, so.
Okay, so nonetheless, as I mentioned, of course, if there on the legal document or the warranty deed, there's a legal description based on what's it called? I slipped my mind.
It's the meets and bounds, Judge.
Meets and bounds. Okay.
Yes.
The meets and bounds is described on that document.
And we were as specific as, it was based off of the prior surveys that had been done of the same property, so it mirrors the same surveying language.
Okay. So having said that, I would include it, and I'll include that as a motion to approve the claim to include the verbal that I just mentioned.
Judge, for what's the amount?
7,000, and to come out from the capital fund, which was approved already by Commissioners Court,
Yes, sir.
and is described as Lot 12. So with that, I guess I did it in form of a motion. Can I entertain a second?
I'll second that.
All right, and a second by Commissioner La Paz. Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, same sign, motion carries. Line item, let me see, before I do that. Commissioners, with your permission, I'm gonna go to line item number 33, approval of tax collector report. We have Missy here, and we'll go to that line item in case you don't have any questions, or yes, Missy.
Basically, Missy, I know last meeting, we were a little bit concerned because I think the collections were a little bit down.
Yeah, we hadn't gotten some of the mortgages.
Okay, and how are we doing this time around?
This time was better, but we're still a little down compared to last year. But I just did a windmill money check, and it should
Balance
give
out?
it, yeah.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on it. Other than that, if there's no other questions, can I entertain a motion to approve?
So moved.
I have a motion by Commissioner Luis. Can I entertain a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner La Paz. Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, same sign, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we go to line item number 6, approval of previous minutes. Follow January 9th, 2025 regular meeting, January 23rd, 2025 regular meeting, January 28th, 2025 special meeting.
So move to approve, Judge?
I have a motion by Commissioner De La Paz
I second.
and second by Commissioner Alanis. Zamorano Alanis. Make sure I get that right. Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, same sign, motion carries. Line item 7, text out to provide monthly updates. I don't see them out there. So we'll go to line item number 8, spread in the minutes, oath for County Auditor Maria D. Maldonado. This is spread in the minutes that Ms. Maldonado has taken the oath.
Yes.
All right. So you are legally binded. All right, so we go to line item number 9, spread of the minutes, certificate of completion of 20 hours required continuing education for 2024 for County and District Clerks Association of Counties awarded to Susan R. Garza, Willacy County Clerk. Ms. Susan, right here. Congratulations, Ms. Susan. We go to line item number 10, discussion item to approve resolution supporting the efforts of Willacy County to execute the restoration of the Willacy County Courthouse. Commissioners, the next 3 line items is basically something that we have already approved. However, on the resolution, there was a misunderstanding in our part that it had to be more specific, and so we just decided to go ahead and do all 3 that we had already done prior. So that's all this is. It's nothing new. Nothing has changed. It's just a matter of making sure that it had gone through and that it is approved. Let's see. Let me check. And basically where that is in the second where it says about the funding agreement. Needless to say, can I entertain a motion to approve?
So move, Judge?
I have a motion by Commissioner De La Paz,
Second.
second by Commissioner Zamorano Loaiza. Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, same sign, motion carries. Line item number 11, discussion act to reapprove the funding agreement between Willacy County and Texas Historical Commission for the administration of the grant of funds for Willacy County for the rehabilitation and restoration of the Willacy County Courthouse. Can I entertain a motion to approve?
So moved.
We have a motion by Commissioner De La Paz,
Second.
second by Commissioner Zamorano Loaiza. Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, same sign, motion carries. Line number 12, discussion act to reapprove the grant of easement for Willacy County Courthouse as required by the Texas Historical Courthouse Preservation Program grant. Again, nothing has changed on this. Can I entertain a motion to approve?
So moved, Judge.
I have a motion by Commissioner De La Paz.
Second.
And a second by Commissioner Zamorano Loaiza. Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. And all opposed, same sign, motion carries. Line number 13, discussion action in regards to $40 reimbursement for account 64-400-150 for Commissioner Precinct 4, Ernie Garcia to attend the Willacy Continuous Education, I guess, CEU program for pesticide applicators training on Thursday, February 13th, 2025 at the River Memorial Library. Okay, this is the one that's happening right now. Can I entertain a motion to approve?
Also, make a motion to, also moved, Judge.
I have a motion by Commissioner De La Paz,
Second.
and a second by Commissioner Zamorano Loaiza. So I guess what you were gonna allude to, whether Mario's also,
Yes.
right? And I don't know.
I know he's over there right now.
Yes, he is. Well, I guess we'll do.
It's under travel.
His is at the trouble?
Yes, they forgot to put it on
Oh,
there.
okay.
As a line item.
Right, well, that's good. Okay, and this is, I'm sure, to register or to actually pay for the training. All right, so I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Line item 14, discussion approval to apply for criminal justice grant for Festival Precinct 5. Action required. This one, Kathy, you're kind of familiar with that. Did anybody, Constable?
Judge, on this one, I had talked to Commissioner, sorry, I was about to say Commissioner Kelly, just out of,
It's okay, it's
sorry. To see if there was some criminal justice grants that they could apply for Constable Precinct 5. And so when I looked into it, they're asking for some statistics of that really he doesn't have yet. So it's something that maybe could be applied for next year. So that way that he has that time to show statistics of, and a deputy constable will be able to say like arrests, incidences, interactions.
Oh, I see.
And things. So that way then we can have something documented to show this is the mileage that, you know, maybe he has to cover and because right now we don't have anything to go off of what he might need.
I see.
So, I don't know if Commissioner
What-
wants to address anything else, but I know that she's looking to try to get that covered for her precinct.
Okay. Right. So
So we'll.
we'll approve him applying.
We'll grants, yeah.
All right.
In the meantime, Judge, I did mention that I do come across occasionally other grants, and so if there's an interest in it, I'll forward those to make sure that he's aware of them. Includes sometimes they're for training, sometimes it's just for body worn cameras, armor, whatever it might be. I'll send that along to see if that's something that he might be able to qualify for
All right.
for his office.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can I entertain a motion to approve?
So
I have a motion by Commissioner Zamorano Loaiza and second by Commissioner De La Paz. Any more discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Line number 15, discussion action to create a new line item for Willacy County Constable Office Precinct 4, General Fund 01. Okay, I guess it's the regular budget. For 205 technology maintenance agreement needed to cover additional costs for new e-force reporting system. Budget amendment to follow. Is he referring to his own budget or?
His own budget, Judge, but I didn't have a chance because I was sick to review it in detail, but just looking at it right now briefly. you are going to have to be asking for funding because it won't be enough to cover that line item. Yeah, because you have repairs and maintenance already exhausted. Actually, you're over budget about $2,000 on repairs and maintenance. And I don't know, you are precinct 4, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's what it's showing up in the financials. So that's why I wanted to let you know more likely you're gonna have to request funding from capital.
Okay. So we're over budget?
Yes. And it shows 1,000. There's something outstanding for 223, but even then you already expensed 3,425. And I can tell you what it is right now. Let's see, unless there was something that was put in there that shouldn't have.
Judge, and I had talked to Ms. Maldonado about seeing if we could do budget amendments for the next meeting that we have, only because of, she had been out ill, and so I hadn't been able to get a meeting with her to talk about one that I needed to do. So if this maybe could be one that we could bring back at the next meeting, which is on the 27th, on the 27th.
So basically, the agenda line item is approving a line item within this budget. But you're saying there's no funding for it. So at this time, you recommend not to approve having that line item, or what is the?
You could approve the line item, but if there's, I'd have to review it in detail and see if we can move funding. However, because you are moving and it's $1,000 and your budget is already reduced, you're gonna have to be requesting funding next year to replenish that cost, because that money is used for your other operating, so for like your uniforms. The funding that you want to move money out of there. You're gonna be short next year, so how would you operate with a lower budget in those line items? So you won't have enough in office supplies. You won't have the same amount that you do this year.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I recommend it would be better if it was funded from somewhere else, or you would have to, if the court approves, request funding to increase your budget next year. Because you are moving, you need an extra $1,000 that you would be taking away from your current, uniforms, repairs and maintenance, your office supplies, your machinery and equipment under 380, over 380. So that's gonna put a strain on your budget next year, because you're gonna be lowering those amounts and you won't have that much to work with. So that's just something to think about. I mean, if the court is okay with approving it, but more likely next year for budget, you're probably gonna need to request more money to increase your general fund budget.
And at this point, Judge, you're correct. Right now, in order to even do the budget amendment, it would have to be approving to create the line item. And then they'd have to come back to you to see about the funding.
Right, well, and that's what I was gonna say, is that I know that we approved that program.
Mhm.
So what was the discussion pertaining to funding it?
So what happened was that the other software we're gonna go with, the E-grant, the loan amount was gonna cover it, but you have to have a server or use the web-based cloud. So that was gonna be like $6,000 extra, or get a server, which was also gonna be, it was gonna be over. So what E-Force, we contacted E-Force and we told them, hey, we're just a two-man department, so this is the issue we're having. So the amount they had quoted us was for $24,674. They dropped it down to $15,000. So the grant amount was for $13,900 and something. So we needed $1,010. So we wanted to get it $1,000.
And that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
All right, so I suggest that we, considering the amount that we approve having that line item, and then we'll take the next step as to how we're gonna fund it.
Okay.
But without that line item, then the option of coming from that budget is not gonna happen. So might as well approve the line item, see what happens.
Okay. No, I'll get with you.
Yes,
Just,
we took it.
I mean, I don't know where we went wrong based on the numbers.
Yeah. It's
We'll
okay,
crunch
we'll
the
go
numbers
over it,
wrong.
and maybe, again, there's options, I just don't want you to be, for next year, you're gonna be strained with your budget to cover your normal operating expenses. It's doable this year because you're gonna reduce your budget, but
We're approving
for next
line
year,
item.
yeah.
It's just a line item, Judge, that you all would be doing at this point, of the creation of the line item.
Number 50.
15.
Make a motion to approve this?
I have a motion by Commissioner De La Paz, second by Commissioner Sobrano. Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, same sign, motion carried. Line number 16, review and approve the Willacy County Constable Precinct 5 annual full exemption racial profiling report action required. Commissioners, I think this is something that's done yearly with an option, right? So it's up to the law enforcement officer to do this racial profiling report. Am I correct?
That's correct, Judge. I think, and if he qualifies for certain grants, then he's not gonna be able to be exempt, because at that point they have to report it. But for now, that he doesn't have any grants, he would be able to ask for this exemption. Otherwise, they're required to have to submit those reports.
Okay. Can I entertain a motion to approve? I have a motion by Commissioner Zamorano Lanis. Can I entertain a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner La Paz. And I'm sure Constable Flores is communicating with either other constables or the sheriff's department to kind of guide it as to what makes sense. So I feel comfortable. I did have a conversation with it pertaining to that. So I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Line number 17, authorization to purchase Eventide, or Eventide, I don't know how to pronounce it. Eventide DX recorder to record phones and F-Tech Scout radio from Vistacom. This is to include all hardware, software, installation support, training, and 1 year of support and maintenance for the purchase price of $40,005. Action required. And correct me if I'm wrong, but we kind of had this discussion, but we didn't have the line item before us.
Right, we didn't put it on the agenda.
So all we're doing now is just approving what we had already unofficially discussed and approved. Correct?
Yes, sir.
It was discussed in conjunction with the Motorola solution, because there was options of
Correct.
what the commissioners wanted to take, either purchasing it with these systems. And so when you approved purchasing or entering into the contract with Motorola but not including these, that's why this one is on here now. But it had been discussed since it was part of one of Motorola's initial options for purchase.
Yes, ma'am, correct.
And I know that you answered this last time. This is all compatible. I know we're going to a different brand or a different company, but it's all compatible. It should link up. We should be working.
Yes, yeah, it should work.
Yeah. That's what
And then the difference between going with Motorola and going with this route saves us about, do you remember correctly? I think it was
70?
About 70,000. Right? I was going to say about 80,000. And when would this, once we approve it, when can we start implementing and start using this product?
So contingent on the other radio equipment from getting here, it's going to be installed in the same pretty much area of the rack. So as soon as we can get the council up and running, that's when we would get this installed. If it was approved. Okay. So they're telling us maybe up to 4 months for the other equipment.
To come in?
Right.
Okay. I have no more questions, Judge, so I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner De La Paz to approve. Can I entertain a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Zamorano Lanis. Any more discussion?
Judge, I did want to stress that this is for 1 year of support and maintenance. The continuing, based off of what the current one would be $6,816. So that's something that needs to be in their budget request for this coming year if they don't have that in there. So that's a continuing. I just want to make sure the the sheriff's office includes that as
Uh,
part of
their
their,
budget.
otherwise, when this comes up again, middle of February of next year, we're gonna be getting a bill and not necessarily have that in there.
Okay. We have a motion, a second, any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, same sign, motion carries. Line item number 18, discussion and action to approve the signing of a resolution as part of the purchase agreement between Willacy County and Motorola Solution. Willacy County lease number 25636, agreement previously approved during regular Willacy County Commission Court meeting held January 28th, 2025. And Commissioners, what this is, as you know, a lot of times on the agreements, there follows a resolution, and that's what this is, I'm assuming.
Yes, sir.
The one thing I do want to say is that I'm going to need your help, the sheriff, and others, between now and the time that we put this system in place, to be able to come up with a better way how to keep tracks of radios in general. Right now, you know, we're paying, and I'm not blaming anybody, right? But I think this is a good opportunity for us to change what we have been doing differently, to where when faces change, including mine, in positions, that there's a clear path as to who has what, especially radios, because right now, Commissioner Garcia and I, about close to maybe 2 years ago, we were asked to provide a list, and they did, right? I'm talking about for the services. And I can tell you that we're paying for more services for specific radios than what we actually account for. But I won't be able to pinpoint unless we come up with a way how to, I'm saying we can even identify to an individual. You know what I'm saying? I know there's portable and there's mobile, right?
Right.
So I'm sure we can do it in one of those. I don't know which one is which. I guess a portable. To where we say, okay, this phone with this serial number belongs to whomever. And I know that the chair mentioned that there would be some floaters. You know, I don't know how we can handle that. And we will, but I just need to feel more comfortable how we're gonna distribute these new radios. Now, having said that, I also need help with the existing radios, because we don't want for there to be all these new radios plus the ones that we already have floating around. So I think this is a good time to address that issue that we've been having for a while, and it includes the fire departments. And so,
Well, right now, what is the process? How do you issue out? Do they sign them out?
Yeah, we sign out, it's an inventory, each officer has, all the issued equipment is documented. A lot of these radios, this was a problem that we kind of inherited.
Yeah.
So we don't know where some of these are. They were missing when we got there. When we got the list of the number of licenses and the number of radios that were being paid for, it didn't kind of jive. Yeah, it didn't match up with what we had either. So we have some radios that are in disrepair that we started trying to get identified, and then all the radios that we have issued out, we got them identified. But as far as a list of users, that's a lot of the majority of those aren't issued to deputies right now. So we don't know where some of that equipment is. But yes, I agree with the commission is that we do need to keep better track of that equipment, and I think we're gonna do that.
Yeah. At the end of the shift, they don't turn them in, right?
No.
They take them home.
Right.
Portable.
Yes.
Now I'm just curious, and I would assume because y'all are out in the field a lot and out the car, in the car, could chase somebody. Are they easily to fall off?
I mean, they're law enforcement equipment, so I mean they take that into consideration when they're, of course, making it. The pouches and stuff that we get for them are from Motorola, so it's compatible with the equipment. We do experience some losses, but that gets reported. we try to replace. That's why we kind of get overage. But as far as damage and stuff like that, we also gets repaired. But I mean, it does happen because just the nature of the work.
Is there any like accountability, like when you do issue the radios, that each deputy or officer signs? Because I know in the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office, they do that with any radio, whether mobile or otherwise. They sign it, and if it's lost or, they are responsible for it.
Again, I mean, it depends on what the circumstances were. If it got damaged because of work, I mean, we're not gonna make the deputy pay. But I mean, if it's lost from negligence or got stolen from the vehicle, there are steps that we can take. But as far as the existing radios, I mean, I'm not sure. I don't really know exactly where they went or, yeah.
And Judge, may I add, upon Commissioner's Court last meeting, the court wanted that the existing radios be reviewed and verified. We already have a list, and exactly how you said, because we were thinking the same way, how is it better to be tracked? And we're gonna send out, or I'm gonna send out an email with all that list, and I do need, all the department's cooperation who are on that list to let us know, okay, if they're non-existent, well, you need to put it on there so that way we can have a list and present to the court. These are the radios that are unknown. These are the radios that belong to a certain deputy, because we need names. And also with the ones that get installed in the vehicles, that was an issue, and I'm glad you brought it up, where you want to have better control, because historically with those old phones that were installed, once they get installed, you cannot get like a serial number, or it's very hard to be able to track that particular mobile. So some of them, the way it happened is that they were installed first before coming to Becky to get inventory. So it's very important for the new ones, if we can have them first be taken to Becky so she can have a list of all the new radios and even the mobile ones. So there's a way we can find out whether a serial number or something on that radio, how they're going to be billed and how we can see the actual number. So we can actually have an initial number to work with, and then maybe put on their vehicle number or a VIN number or something that will help us keep track of it moving forward.
Well, I mean, that's good, but I'm just curious, you're gonna get the unit, the radios, you write in your inventory, right?
I'm sorry?
You get the unit, you get the radio, you write it down, you do your inventory list, you have that.
Yes.
But then you're saying that you want that.
I would recommend, right, if we get them first, because we need to find out how that company who's billing us, how they give us a list, but that he's saying he cannot match it to the radio they have, right? So that's going to be an issue. We need to find out what is the number or the barcode or serial number that agency uses to keep track of that mobile one, or that, it's the mobile one, what's the other? Portable. So the mobile one that goes on the vehicle, because if we're not on the same page, he might have a serial number and it's already installed and we won't be able to track it with that company or ourselves, because we wouldn't have a serial number from get-go, from the beginning. So just so you know, all inventory, when it's purchased, they have to go to the auditor's office so we can record it if it's over $500. Because there's no way, once it's installed, once it's already distributed, for us to go track it, it can be a lot of issues, a lot of factors can take place, just like some of these, not all of them. Most of them, they do have something to be tracked. But those that were installed, Becky's gonna need to find out with the vendor, like, what other way can we figure out this is the radio that they say we're paying for. And the list that he has, we have to cross-reference it. So
I'm sure Motorola, obviously, when they give you the radios, they say, you know what, these are all the serial numbers, this radio, this, they don't just give you.
So each radio has a unique ID, and that's displayed on like when I'm using my radio, my radio ID is going to be different than another officer's. So that we match that ID to what's serial number is. But yeah, it is difficult to come inventory having to remove the radio, uninstall
Uninstall.
it to get the.
And the other thing is too, is that when there's an employee, when there's changes in employee, then you're looking at now having to see what their new equipment is. So if they have that list to begin with, and you know that, for example, the new employee got issued the old employee's numbers, they have that they can attach to that employee.
And any updates, department should go to Becky to try to update that, whether it's lost, it's not working, because we will direct it to the court to try to get that approved, because if we don't know if the departments don't come in and let us know.
Sure.
I mean, unless we start auditing more in detail, we will, if that's what the court wants. But we haven't had to. The only thing is that's the issue. Sometimes we need departments' cooperation to come and update their status, especially if you have a lot of turnover, a lot of changes in staff, you know?
So, I mean, we're doing a pretty big expense, and like, like you're saying, hey, you know what, it's over $500, obviously, right? So once they come in, they just, knock them out, log them in, do what they need to do, and then we'll have them installed.
If they're not delivered, but if they're sent over here before they're even taken out of their packaging, so to speak, they just have to get the information, and then once they know which unit that's going to be attached to or who it's going to be attached to, they can just give that to the auditor's office and they can plug that information in, because then they know. But they already have the initial serial numbers to everything,
And we'll
including the console, what's this thing called? The thing you just passed right now, this logger,
The logger.
I guess it is, and all of that.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's nothing unusual. I think all the precincts have to do it. We buy something and we have to log it in and et cetera. And like I said, this is a big expense that is needed by the service office, and we're happy to be able to put that out there to just finish it up and do the log them in, and we'll get it done.
The portable ones are easier. It's just the mobile ones that get installed. Those are the ones that right now Becky's trying to find a way, and we will work with the vendor. And if you, Becky might contact you to follow up and make sure we can clean it up as best as we can, and then present it to the court, so that way moving forward with the existing ones, and then with the new ones, have a better way to track it, so we can avoid all these issues in the future.
All right. I have a motion and a second.
Yes, sir.
All right. Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, commissioners.
Line item number 19, discussion act to approve the copier/printer lease agreement between Archer Business System to Willacy County Jail Department. And these commissioners are printers lease agreements that come up.
I see you.
Oh yes, there you are. I know this is a common question. Did the cost go up?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, new machine, new 3-year contract, same price.
Okay. Can I entertain a motion to approve? I have a motion by Commissioner Zamorano Anis. Can I entertain a second?
Okay.
Second by Commissioner De La Paz. And then of course the next question is that this is an existing printer, right? An existing agreement, it's not a new one.
Correct, yes, sir.
All right.
That's the one in the first, where's the one in the jail we're talking about?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 20, discussion act to approve printer/copier lease agreement with Archer Business System for Willacy County Sheriff's Office. Okay.
Same thing.
Same two questions.
Yes, sir.
Cost.
Same type of machine, same price, just one's across the way in the sheriff's office.
Okay.
And it's an existing
Existing.
replacement.
Okay. Can I entertain a motion to approve?
So,
Motion by Commissioner Zamorano Anis. Can I entertain a second? Second by Commissioner De La Paz. Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. And all opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Line number 21, discuss, consider, and select a minute to complete project implementation for the American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA projects, funding administered by the U.S. Department of Treasury, other federal and state agencies, action required.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning.
May I approach with
Yes.
and
Okay, so on this one, we're approving this to be able to
yes, sir.
facilitate Council of Precinct 4?
Yes, sir. I'm giving you the information. So this was a micro small purchase vendor quote form. Again, this is from the American Rescue Plan Act funding. Just for the record, we already submitted and expended under the initial round, which is a Fund 114. This will be, if approved, will be purchased from the Local Assistance Consistency Fund, LATCF. So this is a micro small purchase vending quote form that was advertised on the Willacy County website. It was advertised on January 13th, 2025, and it closed on January 31st, 2025 at 4 p.m. We met with our ARPA committee and they scored on February 5th, 2025. And we only received one bid, which is the one that we're presenting to you today. So yes, sir, this is to select the vendor for this approved obligated project. For precinct 4.
All right.
Judge, make a motion to approve GT Distributors Inc. as a selected vendor for the project number 2410-A for one patrol rifle for Deputy Constable Precinct 4 to be funded by the Local Assistance and Consistency Fund.
Motion by Commissioner De La Paz.
I second.
Second by Commissioner Samara Alaniz. Any more discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 22, discussion and action to approve purchase of patrol rifle for Deputy Constable Precinct 4 for the total amount of $1,716 to be paid by the Local Assistance Tribal Consistency Fund, LATCF. Action required.
Make a motion to approve the purchase of one patrol rifle for Deputy Constable Precinct 4 for the total amount of $1,716 to be paid by the Local Assistance and Consistency Fund.
And a motion by Commissioner De La Paz. Can I entertain a second?
I second.
Second by Commissioner Zamora Alaniz. Any more discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. And all opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 23, discussion act to approve proposed annual cost for the total amount of $54,570 for the lease agreement between Willacy County and Texas Animal Health Commission for office space. Action required. Commissioners, this pertains to the Heritage Center that we're building. And as you know, we had already discussed and approved a lease agreement that totaled out to about $90,000 a year. And the reason that we're coming back with 54 is that, as you know, the bids came out extremely high, expecting it to be 5 million or around 5 million. Bids came in at 9.5 million and so forth, so it almost doubled. So that caused us to have to go back to the drawing board and shrunk the building. So by having shrunk the building, we shrunk the square footage that would be leased out considerably, and therefore reflects on the amount of the lease. So what the square footage amount stayed the same per square foot, but the square footage went down, so therefore the lease amount went down to 54,570. So basically that's what we're approving.
If I may, Judge. So, as judges mentioned, commissioners, this is right now at the stage of we're just discussing the language for the lease agreement. Something that I'm working closely with TDHCA and of course our project team and the Texas Animal Health Commission. So what was approved previously from the court was a program income plan that was submitted to TDHCA. At the time, the negotiations have been ongoing, but it was for $90,000. And therefore, this is the third. It was redesigned to hopefully that we're bidding again. This is the second bid, and we'll receive hopefully. We're hoping to stay within not just bid, but within the timeline. At this moment, I do also want to update that just late yesterday afternoon, I had a Teams meeting, and the front documents as far as the bid packet was submitted to TDHCA for review. Once they approve the review, then we can go ahead and advertise. And it will be advertised for 1 full month. So our hopes are that Willacy County will be in negotiations as far as starting the construction date sometime in the early summer of 2025. So this is what is being proposed to you today. What Judge just mentioned is TDHCA's because of the redesign that was just approved.
Judge, and unfortunately, I can't recommend approving something that we don't have a building for them to actually lease from, because my understanding is that this is the,
Right.
I forget what it's called, the center.
It's the Willacy County Heritage Wellness Center.
So the amount, once the lease, you're able to look at actually entering into the lease because either the building is close to completion or already at completion. I really can't say, or I think anybody can say what the Animal Health Commission may approve as far as a lease agreement. So I think you should take this as informational, not an action item. It should only be taken as that because we don't have an actual lease agreement. We don't have terms of start date and finish date. We don't know when they're gonna be in there. So just so that you know that.
So I was on the phone with TDHCA this morning, and I understand where Mrs. Hinojosa is the way she just explained it. I think at this time, Judge, really what the agency from the Texas the Texas Animal Health Commission, what they would like to know so they continue to keep moving forward with working on the lease agreements that will ultimately, Mrs. Hinojosa will also review for Willacy County, is that the court, you get the consensus of the court and that you get the approval of the court that this new amount, right, is something that you are willing to negotiate moving forward. So that's really, I don't know how that would, Mrs. Hinojosa can.
Yeah, I think what we're basically here doing is trying to abide by what the funding source is asking. And in order for us to approve what they're asking, in order for us to respond with what they're asking, is we need to make sure that Commissioner's Court is in agreement with the lease agreement amount.
Yes.
Which
not the lease agreement.
And the reason for it is because we submit a what do you call it, a
program income plan.
A program income plan as to how you plan to maintain and what have you the building right afterward.
It's a breakdown.
In the one we had submitted before, it showed 90,000.
Yes.
Now it's showing 54.
That's what's
but
the new
we want to
proposal.
make sure the Commissioner's Court is in agreement with the 54.
Yes.
That's basically what it is.
Yes, sir.
And so, Judge, as long as, right now it sounds like we're locking ourselves into that amount, and unfortunately, and I'd be happy to be talking to the actual attorneys who are at the other end in discussing what my concerns are. But so because we don't know yet what the final cost is going to be, you're looking at potentially saying this is what we're looking at right now, but with no guarantee that that's going to be the number at the end of the day. And so I don't know how you could do that without still saying that may or may not be the true number that you enter into when you actually do sign up on the lease. So I recognize that and unfortunately this is what happens when I kind of come in at the tail end of it, Judge, is that if it's a proposal for an annual amount for a lease agreement that I don't have. And so that's my concern, is that I can't recommend that you approve it without looking at what the lease terms are. Now, that's how it's been addressed on the agenda item. I don't have any other documentation to see what it actually is. From what it looks like to me is that we're prematurely agreeing to a lease agreement that legal hasn't even received or reviewed. That's how this reads. If it means that you're negotiating the amount to approve to negotiate a future lease agreement, I mean, potentially, but even then, again, if it has to do with just to comply with what the requirements are to make a change onto a proposed, finance agreement, then I don't know, I'm not sure how that would be worded on here without more information.
So it could be, could you refer to it as the program income plan?
I need to know a lot more information. to
It's
be
all
able
you
to
will
make a
have, and I'll provide that to you,
recommendation.
but all it is a program income plan. The lease agreement and that,
If
the way
it's-
that I submitted it, I think that's where my error is. I should not have noted on their lease agreement. I should have noted it differently. But what I will tell you is that right now, as far as I have not provided any information regarding the lease agreement because that hasn't even begun.
Well, but you're having conversations with somebody about something, so if
It's
if I
actually
could-
with our program managers.
Right, so but having at least that backstory, I think would kind of help me as well to understand what's the objective. And so if I don't have, because when I see lease agreement, I hear
Yeah.
contract, terms, I need
Correct.
to review things. And if that's not what this is, then maybe I'm being overly cautious. But if it's to approve a plan, then that's different. And maybe that's how that can be amended, Judge, to say a proposed annual cost for the, whatever plan you call it, you just said that.
The program income plan.
Program income plan for whatever project you have. Maybe
And I think
that's
that's
how
where,
you take out lease agreement and you call it that. If that's what truly the discussion actually is. Unfortunately, just like I said, when I saw lease agreement, I went back
right,
to my
and I
notes.
apologize for that. I think that was my error because we're already looking in terms of early negotiations, moving forward with the with the lease agreement. But at this time, it's just, as you know, Judge, TDHCA, everything's formulated for this program, for this grant. And so you're very well aware about, as you mentioned, the square footage and how this is being calculated. So I think that it would have been safer had I noted when I submitted the request, it would have been for the program income plan.
So it sounds like, excuse me, interrupt. It sounds like what you're doing is modifying the current plan from what you originally
Right.
had to this amount. And
Right.
that makes sense.
Right,
If
and
that's what you all are
Shrunk the
approving,
project.
that makes sense. So it's to modify your current plan
right.
to this new proposed
Right.
amount.
And it's a program income plan, Mrs. Hinojosa, just to be even more clear, for us here internally. Because this third submission for approval to TDHCA, they advised us to not include the income plan and other documents that had already been approved from the court, just as a new procedure so that we could move forward and stay within timeline.
And I know there's already been presentations and discussions. I know Commissioner Zamorano Alanis is new. I know that, so I know, understand about the plan. I'm not in the exact, all of the steps of it. But if that's something that you're looking at is to approve the change in that plan, then I would suggest that the action item would be to approve a proposed annual cost for a total amount of $54,570,000 for the, what did you call the plan thing?
Program income plan.
To modify the,
The program.
I would be comfortable with that, Judge. And would recommend that would
I
be
understand, and I agree.
And we can do that. We can table and come back with it.
You can go.
I thought we were gonna make the motion
Yes.
to change it we could amend it to change from lease agreement to program income plan.
Okay.
Yes, you would say, after the amount, you would say to modify the existing, whatever the plan is called again, Jessica, I'm sorry, I didn't write it down.
It's okay, ma'am. Program income plan, and I apologize that I didn't give you that recommended.
To modify it, okay.
And then I would include at the very end where it says for office space, at the proposed, Willacy County, what's it called?
I would say for the resiliency, for the proposed,
I was just Resiliency Center.
resiliency center.
And then that was
Willacy
whatever you decide to call it, at the proposed.
It's the Heritage Wellness Center, but I don't know if you want to go ahead and already name that on there.
I would just call it Resiliency Center.
The resiliency center.
This time, whatever makes sense to the funding source, because we don't want to lose this project.
So do you want me to read it out of how I've written it? So the motion that you all would be considering would be to approve a proposed annual cost for the total amount of $54,570,000 to modify the program income plan between Willacy County and the Texas Animal Health Commission for office space at the proposed resiliency center.
You got that, Lizzie?
So move, Judge.
I have a motion by Commissioner De La Paz. Can I entertain a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Zamorano Lanis. Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Line item number 24, permission to install a 3/4 inch service tie into a 6-inch water line will bore County Road 15 east to west, 4 feet deep, 2-inch PVC casing from County Road 2700 and County Road 15 go north on County Road 15 1,000 feet. Precinct 1 action required.
This is the new water meter installation, and I already got the approval from AC Engineering on our review,
Right.
and I already discussed it with Commissioner Zamorano.
Entertain a motion.
So moved.
I have a motion by Commissioner Zamorano Lanis. Can I entertain a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner De La Paz. Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. And all opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Line number 25, permission to install a 3/4 inch service line to an existing 2-inch water line on west side of County Road 315. Location of proposed boring crossing is approximately 250 feet from the northwest corner of County Road 3200 and County Road 315. Will bore County Road 315 west to east, 4 feet deep. Precinct 2 action required.
Yes, this is another a new water meter installation. I notified Commissioner Tejerina, but he never got back to me. But
Okay.
it's a similar boring, but they go under the road, to install new water.
And it's to install a
Water meter.
water meter. Can I entertain a motion to approve?
So move to approve, Judge.
I have a motion by Commissioner De La Paz. Second by Commissioner Zamorano Lanis. Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Line number 26, permission to install a 2-inch PVC casing 3/4 inch meter service to a 4-inch water line. This will be on line side approximately 1,680 feet east from northwest corner of County Road 315 and County Road 1900, precinct 3.
Yes, we discussed this already, Judge. We have no problem with it. In fact, I'm kind of excited that we're actually adding more people towards the Laguna area on precinct 3, so that's going to be interesting. Make a motion to approve.
I have a motion by Commissioner De La Paz to approve.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Zamorano Lanis. Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Line number 27, permission to install 3/4 inch meter service tie into a 4-inch water line. This will be a line extension from southeast corner of County Road 2400 and FM 1425. Go west 3,390 feet on the south side of County Road 2400. Water line will be placed on the 5 feet alignment of 40 feet right of way. Precinct 4 action required.
Yes, sir, this is a new water meter installation. They gotta extend the water line from FM 1425 west on La Mula Road, also known as County Road 2400, which is the same road as Lupine Road, but as soon as you cross 1425, it changes name.
Okay.
I already discussed it with Commissioner Garcia. His concern only is about maybe having the road marked or staked out to make sure there's a 40-foot right of way.
All right.
I assume they're saying 40 foot because that's what Lupine Road is, which is across.
We can approve contingent upon clarifying whether it's a 30 or 40.
Right, make sure that they're gonna be in the right of way.
All right. Can I entertain a motion? I have a motion contingent upon clarifying
Yes.
whether it's a 30 or 40 feet right away. I have a motion. Can I entertain a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Willacy. Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Line number 28, Discussion action to enroll employees in the 2025 Texas Association of Counties Cybersecurity course. I believe we do this.
We do this yearly to be in compliance with all of the grants that the county has. And I believe this year, or was last year,
They started charging
was it last year? or was it
$5
this year?
last year,
Okay.
middle of last year.
Yeah, so there's a $5 fee per user, which is about 130 users. And I believe that's budgeted.
Yes.
And it's state mandated, Judge, the training, or the training, the course, sorry. That every employee has to.
Can I entertain a motion to approve?
So
I have a motion by Commissioner Samuel Alanis. Any more on it? Can I entertain a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner De La Paz. Any more discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Oh, yeah. Edison was through.
Yes.
So you're watching on the screen or what? You came in right at the right time. You're watching, that's how this thing works, right?
Yeah.
Well, we're getting used to it. Okay, so,
We have an addendum.
yeah, let me go to it. Is that all you have? Just that?
I have my monthly report, that's another item.
Okay, we'll come back to it.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll go to the addendum. Addenda number 1. And there, a notice was hereby given that Willacy County Commissioners Court would hold this addenda number 1 on Thursday, February 13th at 11 a.m. So with that, we go to line item 1 is discussion action to approve Sebastian / Santa Monica Fire Chief Aurelio Cadena, to apply for a grant through the Texas A&M Forest Service for brush truck to be used at Sebastian Santa Monica Volunteer Fire Department. Action required. Commissioners, Mr. Cadena is going to explain to you, but basically what we're going to do is come back with this one. I would like for him to explain as to what is before us, but at the same time, it is not that we're approving for him to apply it. We're actually approving for us to accept. And to be honest with you, I think that's a good issue to have. You want to go ahead and explain how that came about?
Morning, Judge. Morning, Commissioners. I found out about a grant that was already given to Santa Monica. So I started investigating to find out what was going on. They actually got awarded on October 25th, 2024. Sebastian was in line for the same grant and we didn't get awarded. So I inquired, and they said, no, maybe next time. Okay, no problem. So then as I started investigating, I'm trying to find out where Sebastian is on that line. And I find out that Santa Monica was awarded. So then that's when I started inquiring into it. Okay, what do we have to do to get Santa Monica this new brush truck? They have available $150,000. It's 90% up to $150,000 that they got awarded, which they really need. We really do need a brush truck for Santa Monica. But both departments need it. And I inquired. I've got into the program, and I was able to print out where it actually tells us, which you guys should have a copy of it. The grant itself, and it also has a history on there telling you when they tried to contact from the date of the award. So we're actually there. We just need to progress. Once you guys give me the approval, then I will get with the Forest Service to update the information, and then we'll continue going till we get to that point where we can start looking for a truck at that price range. Now, I do understand it'll probably be a little bit more than that, so we're probably going to have to add a little bit more to it. The return on that is 90% up to $150,000.
So what I'm going to suggest, Commissioners, is that because of how the line item was written, and also because it has to do with us approving a match. is that we table this line item and that we include it as accepting it or not on Tuesday, that we have the special meeting that way. Hopefully, Commissioner Garcia more than anybody will be here and we can have a further discussion. I was not aware as to exactly how it worked. That's why I put to apply, but as it turned out, it has already been
We just have to accept.
We just have to accept
it. And once we accept it, then we'll start the process, and I'll keep everybody informed as far as where we're at and what we need to do.
Judge, if I can ask, Chief, is this 100%? So it's the amount
90-10.
Okay, so the county would have to come up with the
10%.
10% match. So
They reimburse, it's 90% up to 150. But say for example, if the truck comes out to 200,000, then the county gets reimbursed 150.
Right.
It's 90% up to 150.
Have you actually looked into the bus truck, see how much you're charging?
No, sir. And I understand the prices that I got before, because we were awarded, we were in the process of applying for a grant before, and I went through, and it was pretty high. But that's why I don't want to do anything until I get approval, and then I will call my 3 contacts that I have, and I have one in McAllen. So I'm going to see what we can do. The thing is that we'll try to stay within budget, but once you guys give me, a number, then I'll run with that number.
Because it's not. Are you okay with the used truck?
Well, I would have to get with them.
What's the grant call for? Because I know that sometimes these bus trucks are $220,000. They go up their, the price pretty fast.
The only details it has on here is reimbursement not to exceed 150,000 based on today's rates, subject to change based on rates at the time of award. So I can still get with them to find out what exactly their specs are. My understanding is that it is a new vehicle, and then we would have to get it. The time that I did it before, we actually rent from 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, 2-door, 4-door. And then it also says here, it is available. Compressed air foam system is being offered with an award. CAF cost will be 90% not to exceed 18,000. So that's the foam spray that we use sometimes, which our previous trucks did not have that. So there's other stuff that we can add to it, but I won't know until I get the beginning approval, and then I'll go with them and I'll continue and I'll see what I can do.
I think it'd be the best that we could tell. But the reason I kept it here is that so that he was here, so that he could explain.
If you guys had any questions.
The other, what might make sense, Mr. Arena, is that it might, and I know what you're saying is that you want a commitment from Commissioner's Court and maybe up to an amount, but it might make sense to also contact your contacts,
the vendors,
and just to have an idea
okay,
what they're going for. You know what I'm saying? That way we'll have a better idea, and also look into what commissioners suggesting, see if pre-owned is completely out.
Okay, I can get all that before your meeting on Tuesday.
Correct. All right.
I can submit. I can send it in, and that way you guys have that information. It'll help us.
Thank you.
Cool.
Judge, I'm sorry, may I just add to, so you're aware, I believe there is already a brush truck, I'm not sure if it's for Santa Monica or Sebastian, with ARPA funding that has been ordered already, but I'm not sure.
Well, that's for Raymondville.
Yeah, I think it's staying in Raymondville.
Raymondville. What?
So when we presented it to the court, that brush truck, there's already an existing brush truck, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you mentioned, it's one that they've had the Rainbow Fire Department.
But this is
Then this one, right? But it's the Rainbow Fire Department inventoried under Willacy County. So the agreements, the discussions that we've had is that it's not for the city of Raymondville. It's a county-wide piece of equipment that's being purchased, and you're correct. It came out to over $200,000. But that is for county-wide. That is what in the workshops was discussed, and that's how it was purchased.
In my understanding, though, is that it would be housed at the Raymondville Fire Department.
Correct, but it is for.
This is one, Chief, that would
It'll
be
be for
housed
Santa
in the
Monica.
Sebastian Santa Monica
Yes.
Fire Department. So it's the same type of equipment, but would serve different sides of the county.
Different area.
Essentially. So yeah, so it's
Yeah, and we did it because of the fact that you have at the time now La Sara, Raymondville is now, there's a different agreement here recently. You have Port Mansfield Fire Department, you have the Santa Rita Fire Department, you have the Lyford Fire Department. And those concerns came to us coordinating all the ARPA funding. That's what Ms. Maldonado was referring to. And it was discussed with the ARPA committee.
I
That
don't know
in purchasing.
what's the issue.
No, she's just bringing it
Yeah,
up.
I'm
What's the
mentioning that to
Look,
make you aware that there's a
is
second
that
one.
in order for you to, you have to understand how they respond to emergencies.
Mhm.
The Willacy County, I'm gonna call it Willacy County Fire Department, that's gonna get the new brush truck. They respond to any and all fires or whatever in the county, right? They're the most, that have the most volunteers, right? Sometimes these smaller fire departments such as La Sara, including Santa Monica, Sebastian, and I really don't know about Porterville, it's based on volunteers, so they might not be available or maybe not the full crews available. But historically, these volunteers in Railroad, because there's so many, they respond. You see, so it makes sense to always have, and I'm not saying that the others shouldn't, because we, as Mr. Cadenas knows, is that we try and keep on top of it. Now, having said that, the forestry, what's it called?
Texas Forest Service.
Has a list, and he just showed me, where all the fire departments are identified. So it's kind of I don't know how they go about selecting, right? But for this particular grant, it just so happens that Santa Monica was up and was awarded. So, I mean,
There was 218 fire departments awarded in this last one from October.
Yeah.
And we're still in line. Sebastian is also still in line for a small brush truck. And then I'm gonna add to that for future, because they also help with gear, which we really need. Our laptop is outdated, and we just need, as much help as we can get. So the grants help us, because then I come to the county, and the county, it's less burden on the county.
How many active members do you have right now?
We have 12 on paper, 10 most of the time, and on actual calls, we range from 4 to 5. It just depends. Everybody works, so we're not available. I had to call in sick today to come over here and talk with you guys, which I don't mind, because it's helping the fire department. Anything and everything that I can, I'm there for the fire department.
Yeah, no. It's
So-
great. We appreciate the service, and I know having been mayor for Lyford and having to work for the city of Lyford and dealing with the fire department, it's not easy. It's not easy.
And we do rely heavily on Lyford helps us. That's our first call, and then at the end it's Raymondville, and we've always had help. Luckily, we've always had help, and we appreciate that. But anything that we can do for the department to make the department better, we're all for it.
and I will add is that as first responders, they respond if they're able to, even if the fire's at the northern end of the county. Sebastian Santa Monica will respond. So they don't really, it's not geographically. When their call goes out, all of the agencies respond, including the
We're
Sebastian
there,
Fire.
or we show support. We're on standby.
Yeah, there were 2 fires yesterday.
See?
Yeah.
in fact, one of them, I think it was around the La Sara area.
One was in the side.
Yeah, because they call me about using the fire hydrant there, and I'm telling them, hey, if it's an emergency, you hook up, we'll worry about
Whose water it
whose
is.
water it is.
Yeah.
But I think there's only one fire hydrant. Yeah. So. But anyway, I'm curious just to learn. So in that particular grant, like Lyford Fire Department is also.
I'm not sure. I haven't gotten with Ben on that one. Anything that I get as far as the department is concerned, I share the information with them, you know, and I have Ben on my list and I have San Pedrito on my list. I've got George on there too. So anything that comes up through across mine, I usually call them or forward them the information so that way they have access to it too.
Judge, and my understanding was that Lyford did receive a grant for $138,000. So I don't know if it's this grant or a different one, but I know that they received a grant.
Cool. They received it's a different one.
It's a different one? Okay.
Yeah, we help them prepare. Well, we just give letter of support, recommendations.
Yeah, I think that, well, Ben, Vera
Yeah.
is the one, there's two Bens.
It's
Ben Vera is the one who I think submitted a grant. So, but it sounds like it's a different one.
So we'll
Then I'll work on
you're welcome to-
I'll get with the vendors and then I'll get with the Forest Service and I'll get that information to you guys. And that way on Tuesday, you guys can get final vote.
Thank
Cool.
you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Enjoy the rest of your day off.
Thank you.
Judge, and for the next meeting, can we set this up where Chief Cadena can call in?
Oh, yeah.
If he can, since now you're already a little bit aware of it?
I don't know if he's.
Chief Cadena. Chief Cadena.
That's a good
Mande.
idea. Would you be able, and I don't know where you work, but would you be able to call in?
Instead of
We
having
have
to
that
call
option.
y'all?
Sure. Yeah, for Tuesday or,
Yeah.
okay,
That way, you get to hear.
I get to hear the whole thing. That would be great.
And then that week, he doesn't
And
have to
you
take
can
the whole
also,
day.
if there's
Another 6
questions.
No. Okay. Do you have that information or do you want me to call them?
No, we'll provide it to you.
All right, cool.
All right, so.
Thank you guys, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a great day.
Likewise.
You too. Can I entertain a motion to, on the table?
So move to the table.
I have a motion by Commissioner La Paz, the table.
Since I'm second.
Second by Commissioner Zamorano. Needs any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We go to line item 29, approval of monthly reports.
So move to approve, Judge.
I have a motion by Commissioner La Paz,
I'm second.
second by Commissioner Zamorano. Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Go to line item number 30, approval of travelers request.
Yes, there's 7 of them. Travel request for Susan R. Garza to attend the 2025 County Technology Conference, virtual on May 21st to the 23rd, 2025 in Georgetown, Texas, and to pay in advance the registration fee of $200. Request for reimbursement for Commissioner Precinct 2 Mario Tejerina and Precinct 2 Foreman Lucio Esparza for the one-day Willacy CEU program for pesticide applicators to be held at the Reaper Memorial Library on Thursday, February 13th, 2025, to be paid out of account 62-400-160. Travel request for Extension Agent Georgina Macias to attend the San Antonio Livestock Show 2025 Livestock Judging on February 22nd to the 23rd, 2025 in San Antonio, Texas. Travel request for Extension Agent Georgina Macias to attend the San Antonio Livestock Show Steer and Hog Show on February 16th to the 21st, 2025 in San Antonio, Texas. Request for travel reimbursement for Extension Agent Georgina Macias to attend the San Antonio Livestock Show, Horse Judging and Heifer Show on February 9th to 11th, 2025 in San Antonio, Texas. Travel request for Constable Precinct 3 Miguel Sanchez to attend the newly elected constable training on February 23rd to 28th, 2025 in Tyler, Texas. And travel request for Commissioner Precinct 4 Ernie Garcia to attend the RTV Days at the Capitol on February 18th to the 20th, 2025 in Austin, Texas.
What date is that?
February the 18th to the 20th.
So I stressed and we should check, and we didn't say.
Okay. And of course, you you included the one for Commissioner Tejerina, right? What the training? I think I heard you.
Yes.
All right, good.
So move to approve, Judge.
I have a motion by Commissioner De La Paz to approve.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Zamorano. Needs any more discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. And all opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
it's the same as the one.
Line item number 31, approval of treasurer's report.
Are there any questions on the treasury report?
Let me put it up. Is there anything that caught your attention, Mr. Rubin?
No, sir.
So move to approve it?
I have a motion by Commissioner La Paz to approve,
I'll second.
second by Commissioner Mr. Malanis. Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, same sign, motion carried. Line item number 32, approval of budget amendments.
Yes, Judge, I was gonna ask if you can table it for the next meeting, because I was out and I wasn't able to, and there wasn't that many, it was only, I think like 2 or 3. But I wanna include the next, for the next meeting.
Okay. Can I entertain a motion to table?
So move to table?
Can I take a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioners Malanis. Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, same sign, motion carries. Line number 34, review of special claims. Any, we don't have any?
Yes, it's just review, Judge, it's not
Okay.
approval.
All right, so that's more of a.
These are our regular monthly, pre-approved things.
All right, and there's not anything that stands out?
No,
All right. No questions or comments, then we'll go to 35, review monthly report on jail count. The jail count continues to be in the low to mid 70s. Commissioner, I think it went up to 78, 1 or 2 days, came back down. And that includes the U.S. Marshal inmates. So we're doing good at that end. The other is, and I meant to ask the treasurer, I should have, well, he's still here. Yes. Mr. Rubin, do you know how much the jail generated last month?
No, because those bills are a 2-month lag.
Oh, okay. The sheriff had mentioned that they had submitted, so I was
I can ask for it.
thinking maybe they had already come back.
Mr. Cortez for a copy.
But anyway, so that's good news. Line item number 36, review of monthly employee overtime report. That one.
Now on page 5, Judge summarizes the funding source. So one's a grant and the others are general fund.
Okay. I'm sorry. Maria, what were you telling?
Page 5
Page 5.
summarizes what funding sources
Oh.
this overtime came from. One of them was Stone Garden, which is a grant, and the others are general fund, sheriff and jail.
Come on.
It would be page 6, I guess, I read page 5.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it
I'm
5?
looking at page 5, yeah.
Yeah, it's page 5.
So you're saying, the 460 and 461?
Yes. And 03, which is the Stone Garden.
Oh, I see, okay.
And the amount column is the dollar amount.
So on the general fund, it is 92 plus 157, or?
Those are the number of hours for each department. If you look at dollar wise, a total of $7,089.33 for both.
We need to compare to see how we were prior. And I don't know. That's a lot.
And 11,000 is for Stone Garden, but that's separate line at the bottom. That's just grant.
Alright, so just, if we were to get, the 7,249 as the average or the mean, the 84,000.
Yes, 1 month.
The year.
A lot less than before.
A lot less.
Alright.
Judge, and so the way Stone Garden works is they don't give it to you in a, like every month. They give you a total amount, and if you don't do a good job of keeping track of how much they're using, you run out of it by June, July, August, September, sometime around that time. And then if you're still working overtime, that grant no longer picks it up. I think that's historically what's been the issue is, so you can, if there's a good way of don't use more than X number of dollars for the Stone Garden or the overtime grants to make sure that you have enough for the whole year. Otherwise, when they're still going out there, that's when the last 2 or 3 months of the year is when it's the county that's having to pay it when it goes out because there's no funding left. I know that Becky does a really good job of letting us know because we have one overtime grant, and she'll let us know when we're getting close to
And that's it?
to finishing it out.
So that has happened?
Yes, one, not a lot, but yeah, a few. It's just, we remind them departments to keep track of their budget because they have to make sure they're still within the funding.
So there's a
amount.
cap?
Yeah.
As to what's available?
And a deadline as well to use the money by a certain date.
Oh, I see.
So Becky does sends emails as soon as they're getting close to it, kind of to give them a prevention, like, hey, watch your numbers closer.
Right.
Because this is the amount of money remaining.
And that's helped me in the past. And so when they award the grant, they'll tell you you're being awarded 100,000 in overtime. And that's a big number, but I use round numbers. 100,000 in overtime. And so when you get it, that's the amount that you already know when the year starts how much you're going to have.
All right. We'll keep an eye on
But,
it.
yeah.
So there's no more comments and questions on line item 36. We go to 37. Executive session to confer with Commissioners Court Legal Counsel regarding pending and contemplated litigation under negotiations involving the county's employees and its interests pursuant to VTCA Government Code Section 551.071, and B is deliberation regarding pending and contemplated litigation. Do we have anything?
No, Judge, plus usually when I do have something, I prefer to have as much of the court here with 2 commissioners out.
All right.
They may have questions about something, but there's nothing that's pending that's or pressing that for me to have to discuss.
All right. Can I turn motion to table line item 37, 38?
Make a motion to table items 37, 38.
I have a motion by Commissioner De La Paz, second by Commissioner Alanis. Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 39, can you entertain a motion to adjourn?
So move, Judge.
I have a motion by Commissioner De La Paz,
Second.
second by Commissioner Zamorano. Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. And all opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We are adjourned.